Hey, I am here with Tony Siracusa on the last word on college football. Tony, thanks for finally coming on. I've known Tony for years. He was a big time UCLA fan, was a UCLA writer. Now he's with Wake Forest. So thanks for coming on the Chopping It Up with Buck section, Tony.
Glad to do it, Buck. Glad to do it for you.
Yeah. So tell me about your experience now. You move all the way across the country.
Right.
You're with Wake Forest. Dave Clawson, who I think has done a fabulous job at Wake. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in Wake and what your experience has been there so far.
Yeah, I think with Wake, one of the things you're looking at is building off last year. They had really unprecedented success, going 11-3 overall, winning a bowl game, playing for the conference championship. So Clawson's approach this year is mindset. That's a theme he keeps using, which is don't get caught up in what happened. You enjoyed it. It was a good run, but what have you done for me lately? And so that's something you've seen from the leadership of the team, guys like Sam Hartman at quarterback. Every practice, every bit of spring camp, it was all about mindset and what are you doing today?
Sam Hartman, a guy from locally here in Charlotte. I'll tell you this, too. The thing that I look at Wake, if you think about Jim Grove, think about how they've always been one of those teams that nobody really gives any credit to.
Right, and you know what? Clawson loves playing off that. He talked yesterday about, the media is going to pick us to finish next to last in the division, which, of course, we're not doing that. But he feeds off of that and kind of the you're not giving us any love, so we're going to do something about that, kind of a chip on the shoulder kind of attitude.
Our theme for this year is mindset. And every year we come to these media days and people have low expectations of us. And we never let that dictate how we went about our weekly process or our preparation. That we had confidence we could be a good football team, maybe despite what people on the outside thought. And now that people have a different perception of us, we welcome that, but it can't change the way that we operate. It can't change our mindset.
So, Tony, I think the other big thing is when you look at Wake, defensively they played well, offensively with the guys that they have. I know there's some talk about the changes there. What have you seen from being there for the short time that you have, and what is it about that leadership that you were talking about?
Yeah, well, I think when you have as many returning players as they do in the starting lineup, when you're looking at 19 to 20 returnees, you have high expectations. But of course, they brought in a new defensive coordinator in Brad Lambert and changed a lot of the defensive staff. They gave up way too many yards last year in the run, and they weren't very aggressive, even as good as they were. So I think what you saw in spring was the defense really having to learn new schemes, the offense playing a little slow for the first couple of weeks, letting the defense kind of get their legs under them and learn the new schemes. And then by the end, everybody was at full speed and really picked it up. And Dave Clawson called it going from checkers to chess. And by the end of camp, he said, we're now playing chess.
I've known Brad a long time, used to call games there when he was on Grove's staff. What has Brad brought to that defense? Because he has always been a guy that can really get his defense to get after you, and his secondary usually plays really well.
Yeah, I think you hit it, that they're going to get after you. They're not going to sit back and wait.
Kitchen sink.
Exactly. They're going to be much more aggressive. It's going to be much more of a forward-moving defense, not a defense that's waiting to react to the offense.
A lot of people complain about how Sam and those guys go slow with the zone read. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think Dave Clawson has done a really nice job of getting that offense set up for some real good success this year as well.
Yeah, if you just watch them and you haven't really seen Wake Forest before, it does look like the zone read goes in a little bit of slow motion. But when you watch Sam go through the progressions, you see that it really makes a lot of sense because he's sitting back there with 3, 4, 5 options on every play.
He's been around UCLA football since 1972. Now we welcome him to the Carolinas. Tony Siracusa from Last Word on College Football. We're chopping it up with Buck.